All right.
We're
Whoa.
we're in an immersive view. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the wall
Yeah, we're on a wall. We're pictures on a wall.
on a black screen. You're probably holding in your hand, according to the statistics on the YouTubes.
Wow, this is really something. We're both portrait. We're moving portraits.
It's like Harry Potter.
I,
Literally,
I
they
guess.
said, yes, stop immersive view. Like, oh, I can't stand it. I'm sorry. Ladies and
Is it still
gentlemen.
recording? All
Oh
right.
yeah, this is going up as soon as we're done, probably, because I still haven't got an army of monkeys to turn whatever. Like, had I been successful at this point, I would drop this MP4 into the Discord, and then out would come onto the studio things with bumpers on the front, bumpers on the back, links in the description, all of that, with me just be going, wow, it's good to be talent, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you know, which is why we're here today on this. I think I'm going to call it Fringe Cringe, Chad and Griz. So here we go.
Oh.
Everybody, by now you should know how to do the savings throws, or I should have a video that explains it. I don't. Here we go.
What are savings throws?
Savings throws, Chad. Okay, so like tabletop role-playing games are simulations of historical and other fantasy events. And like when you have a conflict, they off-source the resolution of conflict to random dice rolls. And a savings throw is one such random dice roll, which is like something bad is about to happen to you. If you make a roll, what happens is less bad than if you don't make the roll, and then the story continues.
It kind of reminds me of like when you would have like a shaman, and they would like get some bones together and like spit in a shell and like throw the bones in there and shake it up, and they're like, "This is you're about to shit your pants" or something like that. Or like,
Additionally, fun
yeah,
fact, all the dice used like these are manifestations, like instantiations of the sacred geometry for that number of points, like the 4 side, the 6 side, the 8 side. Those are the sacred geometry 3D representations. I let the
are they?
audience choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart, because that invokes their magical persona and their consent to participate, and it lets the whole thing. It's like a spiritual permission slip of
Okay,
participation by letting them choose. You see,
yeah.
so everybody choose
So are
one.
they carved out of bone?
Not these. Pick
Okay,
one, Chad. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. You don't have to tell anybody, but hold it
but
in
can I?
after.
Can I?
After you can
I'm
tell
gonna.
after.
Okay, all right.
Here comes the rolls. Everybody save against mind control. Woo! Survivalists got a nat 20. A nat 20
Whoa!
is like the best possible you can get on the
Yeah.
die. And like if you have a good dungeon master, you get like bonuses for doing the best you could have done by rolling a nat 20. So way to go, survivalists.
Yes, thank
Socialists.
you.
Socialists are coming in strong with the lucky number 13 and all the associated triggers that gives for the people who chose that. Wisdom and heart are both coming in at deuces. Blam. 22 if you put them together. But they aren't together. They're separate. So both wisdom and heart are going to be tore up by what comes after this. So tune away if you want out now. Otherwise, we're going deep. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Griswold Gaius Grimm of the first LARP Ingression Protocol, and I have with me today documentary filmmaker from Underneath the Bridges of Meaning, Chad the Alcoholic.
Hello, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and thanks for having me. I picked survival because two of my online friends told me that they had dreams where I died, and one of them thought I died, had a dream where I died in a car accident, and the other one had a dream where I killed myself. So I picked survival because there is no agency, and I wanted to see if their dreams were coming true or not. So thank God for that.
Well,
Suck
they
it,
might
Luke.
have, Chad. Those dreams might have come true. But not
Oh.
only did you roll your savings throw, you nat 20'd your savings throw. So, like, there may be even other life-like bonuses in your life now.
Oh, sweet.
So tell me about this documentary film you're making, because I heard they brought in a ringer to compete with you.
Yeah, I don't know if they brought in somebody to compete with me because they would win. There's not much, just like there is no agency, there is no competition. So, not to say that I'm not about competition, I just don't have enough gumption or mind power or minions to help create the film that I'd like to create, which I think would be a great film. But I'm not sure if how great it is. So did you tell me? Did you ask me to tell you about it?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. The film would be basically
No, would be. It is, Chad. Speaking is. It's because like
okay.
you're holding on to the idea and you think it's yours, but really you're just like the anal sphincter for it. And if you open your wisdom center a little bit wider, the spirit of the documentary can manifest through, right? Your ego is just clenching a little too hard about how you're a piece of crap and you can't do it. If you loosen that up and let it happen through you, this documentary is going to change the hearts and minds of people who need it. So,
Okay. All right. That's very good. Thank you. I needed that sphinctorial
you
encouragement.
got to keep your wisdom centers open, man. We're playing game Christ, as far as I can tell.
Okay. All right. So the film is called This Corner of the Internet. It's not meant for people who are here necessarily. It's meant for those who have not yet made it, who may trip over it, or who will trip over it. So the film is about this corner of the internet, and it follows uh, it follows the narrative. It follows the narrative of what happened here. How did this come to be? What you find when you get here? What kind of spirits you may find. The difficulty is figuring what what the spirit of the film exactly is, because what I found is the only thing we've been able to really call this corner of the internet is this corner of the internet, and that is an undefined term, which I think is wonderful. So when we went to make the film, it 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 became kind of a funny paradox to be able to define that while not being able to define it. And so it's for me, the vision I first had for the film is um, working on a job site, tripping over Joe Rogan because the guy who turned out to be later to be my best man said you should check out Joe Rogan. So I'm listening to Joe Rogan, and um, probably the fifth or sixth video I listened to or tripped over was a Jordan Peterson video, and I never heard of this cat. And so I was like stunned by it because I liked I
right,
I don't know something.
cut. Okay. So it's like this. You open, you're at the job site, right? And your dude walks
Yeah,
up, he's like, dude, you should check out Joe Rogan, right? And then
yeah,
cut to immediately like just juxtapose like with that you dancing and you got the dancing video, like Pet Cow's version of you doing that dance,
yeah.
like make Chad Pope. And then that's like the teaser for it. So we can shoot that already.
Okay, wonderful.
What
Well,
other
that's
footage
already
do
been.
you have in the can? Have you interviewed
I have.
Oswald Grimm yet? Is he in the
Well,
corner, or does he like just throw
I
spitballs at the corner? What's up with him?
no. He's certainly in the corner. He is one of the. He's one of the nerve endings. One of the things that run through the spine of the deal. Even though See, what's interesting about it is I never think about my spine until it hurts. So, but it's always there. So I think that Griswold Grim is there. I think, um, well, Vanderclay clearly is there. He's kind of like, he's somewhere in here, somewhere in the neck of the deal. And then, I mean, there's
Whoa,
all
whoa,
sorts.
whoa, 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 whoa. We gotta take a time out. We gotta take a time out. Let's go to whatever, the kitchen. Let's go to the kitchen for a second.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to lean it and turn the light up. This is okay, this is close enough. I'm a ghost in the kitchen and you're over by the toaster now. I think. So man, I hear you talking about this corner.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's things up in the corner and they pull you into entirely different realities. Do you think that's what happens when you stumble across a community on the internet that's so resonant with what you need in your life right now?
Oh yeah, certainly. And it's not always for the good either. It doesn't, and at the time, it doesn't seem like it's for the good, anyways, because it can be distracting from like the meat space, which is probably more important.
Well, it's like a Maslow hierarchy, man. Like, or even if you want to stick with the care agency, it's your capacity to care. If your back hurts, you don't have the agency to extend care to bullshit like fixing your life by finding a community on the internet. You're like, I gotta eat, so it's like a priorities thing. But if you get to the point where you're comfortable enough to start pursuing the more finer parts of self-refinement, maybe this corner helps.
Oh yeah, certainly. There's I certainly don't think I would have ever tripped over something like a pocketasis or
What the did you just say, Chad the alcoholic?
it's called apocatasis. I'm probably saying it
Apocatasis.
wrong. Yeah, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but basically it just means the redemption of all things.
Oh,
So,
all things.
which yes, which is something I guess I believed in before I was captured by Christ, which made sense to me. But once I was, captured by Christ, it was more like that kind of came with some old ideas. They started some old egregores tried making their way into my spiritual thinking, and it just it had to be stopped.
Dude, your
So
mustard seed is always like feeding so much stuff that you don't even know are your axiomatic beliefs. I mean, because they're
right.
so foundational to how you operate. They're so far deep in the roots of your mind that unless you have cause to go exploring, they're just going to operate. And what happens is, like, verily, verily, I say unto you, if you had enough faith, you could move that mountain. Like, all that faith is pumping into like self-limiting horse shit usually.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's like, well, of course you can move the mountain. Go over there and grab a handful of sand and throw it.
No, but how much faith are you pouring into the notion that you can't move that mountain?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, you just look at the mountain and like all like behind you is all your faith that you can't move it.
Right. Well, I think that part of what happened, what might have happened, is something called cinematography and huge budgets to market cinematography, which was a good thing and a bad thing. Because what it did was
whoa, what happened? I don't.
I think
okay, it's like you're describing a bomb to me, but I don't know where the bomb is hitting.
Well, what happened was they took the mystical and captured it and put it into a box
and said it's television and it's all fake.
Right. Well, they made it seem like it was fake because you got used to seeing it captured in a box, And we got so used to it being in a box that it became nearly impossible to believe that this whatever you found in that box could actually manifest outside of the box. It was actually manifesting outside the box. So I think that's what happened, and so it was a complete lie. That
Well, that's accusatory. That's inflammatory and accusatory to be like a complete lie.
Well, I think that it
it's
was
okay. It's okay.
necessary. Like I think we needed it
I
because
gotta say though, what you're describing to me, I chunk as I didn't even realize I felt that history was pretty much over. Things were settled because like we're the pinnacle of human evolution and this is the way it is. So I'd always felt that like, you know, things weren't going to change. Things were under control. Everything's safe, under control and settled. That history was over. And like once that cracked, that was so like you're saying what they did, that's for me, it cracks like that history's not over.
right. Well, right. That's what I'm saying. And then so I think this is where our deep desire and obsession to enter our black mirror comes from, to recapture the mystical. And
Oh, so
it's just
you think that's why we're spending so much time in these internet, these time spaces, these
I think that's part of it. Yeah, I think it's just
joint attention spaces, right?
well, yeah, I think basically it's a basic principle of we're always seeking something that is great and beautiful and lovely. And some many of us like myself are easily sometimes the quickest thing that works is I'll use that for a while. So like for me it was, music, or and then films, and then um, drugs and alcohol worked really well. And then now it's like, but it's whatever they captured in the screen, I need to get that. So I will crawl into there, and I will spend all my time crawling back into there so I can recapture, and so we can pull it out and bring it into the mystical world, not the screen world. So I think it's like a hero's journey back into something like that, like a journey into the bottom of the depths to grab.
All right,
To grab
talk to
something.
me in upper and lower register about the mystical and the screen world.
Well, I would say that the mystical world is the world the room that you're actually sitting in right now, not the one I see on the screen. The place that you are actually, or say the place that I am right here. This is where miracles actually happen. And
therefore
weird
that's
things,
why it's the mystical realm.
well, things like deja vu happen here, right? Does it doesn't I don't understand how that works, but like I experience it quite often, and there's no explaining that, but that this is the real space. Now, deja vu doesn't happen on this
Remember,
communication.
embody. No, but yeah, it does. Like I've been staring at a screen when the deja vu feels kicked in before.
Well, yeah, but
Well, hold on, hold on. I had something I don't want to lose.
okay.
The dreamer, the dreamer. So like one of Peterson's big nailing points is that like society is based on the inner divinity. So like that guy could be Jesus and we don't even know. Is like the foundation, but the atheists can't have that, and they need something, and the something they can have is the dreamer, because we all dream, and that's, I think, like if they can use that as the foundation for law, the way that the West has used Christianity up until now, we may be able to get to some nice place. And that I cozened that earlier, and I wanted to bring it from whatever realm to your mystical.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. I mean, my big problem with Christians.
Yeah, who are you to have a problem with Christians, bro?
Well, the problem is the deep desire to hear the words of somebody else and proclaiming that they are believers of a certain way. Like I was in one of these Discord server discussions, and they were talking about how a certain internet intellectual, one of the Canadians, and it's not Peterson and it's not Peugeot, how they needed to say that they needed to be Christian somehow. And I said, why? What does that matter? What does that change anything? And so that bothers me, And so I think that kind of what I'm trying to say is, so we could say the Christians have Christ or the atheists have dreams, and it's all the same to me. That's what I'm trying to say. And our little categories is bullshit.
It's like, hey, 1, 2, Shiva's coming for you. It's like infighting as a way to avoid facing external realities. Every time I hear the name of a Protestant branch, right? Is that the same vibe as what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, now maybe somebody needs that. Maybe somebody needs to have a certain way of looking at things so that they can see the world and understand it. That's fine. But I don't need you. But by no means does that require you to make sure others say the same thing. I don't think. And maybe I'm being hypocritical in this statement. But I think.
Teach me your song then, hypocrite.
So the one thing is like, so do you know like Legion, right?
Yeah.
I love Legion. Legion, in many ways, pulled my worldview into alignment that it needed to be in. The one thing when you walk away from the Legion story, that I walked away from with it is, Christ never told Legion to go tell people what to believe. He told them, go tell them what the Lord did. That's it. He didn't even say, go tell them what I did. He said, go tell them what the Lord did.
Dude.
He didn't say, go over there and tell those people what to believe and how to live. And the other thing is Legion wasn't even baptized. And the other thing, so it doesn't, like all this stuff to me.
Dude. I almost came out last night with my open heresy, so I might as well do it now. Like, I think y'all are fucked up. I think that like whatever Jesus and his boys had, they encoded secretly in the stories, but it's about you and God, not how to act in the world. It's about, because if you clean your if you run the money lenders out of your own temple, there's a start, right? And if you can clean up your act, you can quit drinking the beers, you can quit drinking the caffeines, you can get off the nicotine, you can drink some water, maybe go to your closet, pray in the sun. Maybe God will tell you what's up there. Maybe that's what like going in the desert for 40 days is supposed to do for you, is to like clean your communication channel with God. And then you don't have to worry about what you believe because you can feel it and embody it. Remember, embody.
Well, yeah, dude, that's the whole basic.
That's Christian. To me, being Christian means you're like Christ, and Christ lived right. So be a walking conviction. If you want to be a Christian, don't tell me what you are. Embody.
Right. Yeah, but that's basically what I was, the way that I was living life for like 8 years before the Legion thing happened. And it was at the bottom of all it was the idea of being a seeker, right? And then so to me, being a seeker and a servant are kind of hand in hand. And that to me is where the channel is cleared, right? And because if I don't need to, okay, how do I explain this? Okay, so in the literature for Alcoholics Anonymous, it says God could and would if you were sought. It doesn't say God could and would if you were found. So to me, it's in the seeking where the real magic happens, right? So
no,
the great difficulty I had by being captured by Christ was I forgot that I had to remain being a seeker, and so I've fallen asleep at the wheel a little bit. and that's
Mm,
on me, you know.
mhm.
And so like
Good that you
now that
catch
I
it
say
because
I'm
you
a
can be
Christian,
asleep at the wheel for all your life. So it's always
oh
good
God,
when you catch it, you know.
yeah. Well, the problem with falling asleep at the wheel, or say like when you come home from work and you come down to watch some Netflix and you're sitting there, next thing you know, you wake up. It's 8 hours later. You're like, what the hell happened? You don't know what
Well,
you don't
dude,
know. You
isn't like
fallen asleep.
Seek ye first the kingdom on there?
Yes. Yes.
Right. First, first.
But we
I mean,
want to seek ourselves
so
first.
if you're going to be on Netflix, that's at least what you should search for.
Yeah. I thought that would be kind of cool if somebody like a big film studio that like makes Marvel or whatever, they made like a big, like a really heavy duty story of the
I
apocalypse.
don't want the devil's machine to make stuff. Give a shit, bro. I'll tell you what,
Well,
though, we make some
we're
good
already doing
stuff.
that.
Hey, you know what your documentary needs?
What
If
does it need?
like something that people can see happened,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Right. So
like the fat.
like if somebody saw this and started a GoFundMe for you and me to make a pilgrimage to Sacramento to shoot
Oh
some
yeah,
footage for the documentary and swing some hammers on a church, and then that
dude,
GoFundMe got funded and we actually made the pilgrimage, then that we could document or
for sure,
something.
dude. That would be totally badass.
Hey, no, don't put that away. Let's try and sing together. I'm ready
Okay.
to close, man. I don't go for long. It's short and intense, baby. No, nothing copyright. We gotta avoid that. To teach me your
Oh,
song, that was epic. What's the
okay.
first
Let me grab
line?
the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, no, happy.
Because I really
Oh,
only wrote
spin
it down.
Janice real quick, please. Pretty please, spin Janice. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's see if I can. Fuck it. Well, I don't know about the meaning crisis, left, right, black, white, or other vices, which
Hey, stop.
Jesus Christ.
You're teaching me. So
Okay,
I
yeah. So
don't
you
know about the meaning crisis.
left, right, black, white, or other vices. So
Left,
left,
right,
right,
black, white,
black,
or
white,
other vices.
vices.
Well, I
Which,
don't know about the meaning crisis. Left, right, black, white, or other vices.
which Jesus Christ is right, or if we're all saved. So, which Jesus Christ is right, or if we're all saved.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to the one I have right now. What's the next one
Okay.
after that?
From my perspective, our propositions participate procedurally, running in circles.
Well, I
Remember,
don't, okay,
body.
let's do the first two lines and then I'll dramatically end recording.
Okay.
Well, I
One,
don't, okay,
two.
all right, like nod when I should start singing, okay?
Okay.
Don't you start strumming before and then I. Well, I don't know about the meaning crisis. Left, right, black, white, or other vices.